Well, hey everybody, Mike Griffith here. Welcome to a special presentation of On the Beat. Really pleased to be joined by Senior Bowl Executive Director, former NFL scout, Jim Nagy. Jim, I know it's got to be crazy busy for you amid these COVID-19 restrictions, things change and all the tests you've got to get doing. Tell me about the Senior Bowl. How has it been different for you so far setting this game up?
How long is this call going to take? It's been a lot different. Obviously, we wouldn't have, the first thing was we had to establish, can we pull this thing off safely? So did a lot of research, met with a lot of people, people at the NCAA level, NFL level, infectious disease people. And once we established that, yeah, we can pull this thing off safely, then it was kind of full speed ahead. But, coming up with COVID protocols and different testing measures. We could talk on and on and on about the new changes for this year, but it's going to look different. We had to strip away all the events to the week, which we've really added to help make this more of an awesome fan event over the last couple of years. And unfortunately, we had to take that away, and practice is closed and games at 25% capacity. So it's going to look different. But the main goal was just having the practices in the game for the players and the NFL people.
Right. Well, the Reese's Senior Bowl is still going to take place on January 30th this year at Hancock Whitney Stadium. Beautiful new stadium where South Alabama plays. That's a move from Ladd Stadium. Want to jump right in, though, Jim. There's a lot of Georgia guys to talk about. I know your time is valuable. I want to start out with a graduate transfer by the name of Trey McKinnon. You noted Trey last summer when he came over from Florida State. I believe he had an arthroscopic knee procedure in the offseason before, slowed him down a little bit at Georgia. How's Trey looking? What do you see from Trey, and what are some of the things he needs to get done in Mobile, Alabama next week?
I expect Trey to have a huge week and really kind of burst on the scene because, and this isn't specific to Georgia, but just big picture, the college level does not use the tight end as effectively as the NFL level does. And Trey's a guy that every year in scouting, you come across guys that when you get in draft meetings, you kind of describe them as guys that are going to be better pros than college players. And I think that's going to be the case with Trey. He's really athletic. He's got the size to play on the line of scrimmage. For a big guy, thick guy, he can drop his weight and create separation. He's good after the catch. To me, the guy's really talented. So I can't wait to get him down here during the week. And I know that the Panther staff's chomping at the bit to get to work with him.
And now I got to veer off just a little bit. You've got such a collection of quarterbacks. You mentioned Trey. They're not Georgia guys, but I need you to tell me about these quarterbacks because this is going to be a real star attraction for this year Reese's Senior Bowl.
Yeah, it's the biggest one is probably Mac Jones from Alabama. That was a big get this week. Mac had to play in the national championship game, and he got down to Mobile on Sunday. He's training with David Morris from quarterback QB country down here in Mobile. So I got a chance to sit down with Mac and talk with he and his family about the game, and we kind of made it happen the next day. So yeah, Trey's gonna have a good one throwing the football during the week, and Kellen Mond also trying to take on that American side, and Jamie Newman will be on that side as well. So a guy that he's gonna play with this fall. He'll get a chance to play with him here in Mobile.
Let's go ahead and ask about Jamie Newman. He's sort of a Georgia guy. I know he's going to be wearing the Wake colors down there, but what did you see in Jamie? A little unusual for a guy not to play the season and play the Senior Bowl. Not unprecedented, but tell me what you've seen from Jamie Newman.
We had to put him in Wake Forest stuff. If we put him in Georgia stuff, the vitriol for Jamie Newman among Dog Nation on Twitter has been unbelievable. What did this kid do to you guys? But no, Jamie's a guy that when you watch him at Wake, I've said this a bunch, like Dave Clawson's done an unbelievable job winning football games at Wake Forest. That is not an easy place to win football games, and he's done it at a high level now. He's really built that program up. But that being said, like the offense is not apples to apples when you're making a pro projection. And so for Jamie to come down, on a year where he obviously everyone in Georgia knows he opted out. So there's going to be a rust factor. It's how quickly can Jamie shake off the rust and acclimate himself to a pro style offense. And he's truly the wild card of the whole week.
Yeah, you talk about rust. One guy that's been here so long, we thought he might be rusting. Big Ben Cleveland, fifth-year senior, just a monstrous offensive lineman. What did you see from Ben Cleveland that got him this invite to the Reese's Senior Bowl?
Yeah, Ben's coming along at a good time for guard play because right now the league as a whole is really, it's kind of in vogue for a while to go to the undersized, like really athletic zone scheme where you can get lateral and get to the second level and play with smaller guys. But everyone's really looking to beef up on the inside and put bigger bodies in there that can hold up and protect the pocket. I think a lot of that has to do with the shorter quarterbacks that are playing nowadays. You really got to protect the depth of that pocket. And Ben's a big, strong dude. You can't run through him. He can play square in there. So again, I don't think Ben offers like great position versatility at the next level in terms of playing either guard or center or tackle or center. But I do think he's going to be a starting level guard as a pro.
Yeah, Jim's been around the block a few times, folks. He was a scout for the New England Patriots, the Seattle Seahawks, Green Bay Packers. A lot of Super Bowl appearances for Jim Nagy, and now the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl. A guy we didn't see a lot of this year, probably laid down some pretty good tape in 2019. Cornerback DJ Daniel had that high ankle sprain early, kind of put him behind. I don't know if that he was ever 100% or right at Georgia. What do you know about DJ? What do you expect in Mobile next week?
Yeah, we really like DJ's junior tape. I mean, he was really an easy guy to like over the summer. He's really good at the line of scrimmage. He's patient. He's physical. He's good with his hands. And yeah, like you talked about the ankle thing, I never think he really got on track this year talking to their staff. And this is going to be a big week for him because the 2020 stuff, there wasn't a ton to go off. He wasn't a full-time starter. He had the two good underclassmen, Stokes and Campbell, playing outside. So it'll be a big week for DJ. We're excited to get him down here because going back to that junior tape, we thought he's a really good player.
One of the more disciplined guys, one of the more likable guys, a guy that seems to check all the boxes. Not sure where his film's at. I'm guessing this is going to be a really big week for Mark Webb, though, Jim. This is a guy I know Kirby Smart thinks a lot of. Played that star nickel, a guy who's physical against the run. Again, seemed to be in the right places. Not sure where he's at on the NFL radar. Could you share your thoughts on Mark Webb?
Yeah, Mark's a really intriguing athlete, and I know his background coming out of high school. He played on the offensive side of the ball quite a bit, and I think he's going to fit as a nickel and a safety. I really think his home at the next level is going to be at safety. He's a big, long body. He can get people down in space. I know he's going to be a heck of a special teams player. So again, just getting off the phone with the Panther staff this morning. I think they're planning on using him some at nickel during the week, but also getting some reps at safety.
Interesting enough, Matt Rule had plenty of film of these guys just a year ago when he was preparing for him as the Baylor head coach. He's probably looking around saying, you sure you can't get George Pickens down here? Going to have to wait another year for that. And I hope George graduates a little bit early. I think he's going to be gone after his junior year. Malik Herring is a guy that PFF, and Jim, I don't know what your thoughts are on those PFF ratings. Sometimes I look at him and, okay, but he was the highest rated returning defensive lineman in the SEC. He plays defensive end, sees a lot of double teams, doesn't put up big stats, and yet this is a guy I know a lot of people are excited about.
Yeah, really solid football player. Malik really is. Not like there's not a lot of flash to him. Like you said, he's just a really steady, dependable, hard playing, combative guy. He's hard to move, whether he's on the edge or inside. Again, he can take on a couple blocks. He can get out on the edge and collapse it. So versatile guy that you can move around. Again, back to that call with the Panthers. I mean, they plan on doing that, moving him around a lot and showing off his versatility. And I think that's where he's going to be at the next level. Is going to be a guy that a lot of teams like because the attrition over the course of an NFL season is crazy. Like you always like your roster going into the year. Every team does. Most teams do. And then you get to December and you're like, whoa, what happened? Where is everyone? So you need guys that can plug in and play different roles. And Malik's going to be able to do that.
Yeah. One guy I'm anxious to see play healthy because Monty Rice had his foot in a boot. It seemed like half of the year he was slowed. And that's the only reason he didn't play in the bowl game. I guarantee you that Monty needed to get right for this Senior Bowl, Jim, because these guys need to be at their best when they're competing against the other best players in the country. I mean, now more than ever, I would think. But your thoughts on Monty Rice? Got to think he was one of the first Georgia guys that got invited.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we sent the invites out really early on most of these guys. I'll say this about Monty and opting out of the bowl game. Just big picture wise, I think there's still some fans that don't get it when it comes to where these guys are at. And I always think of it as like, how would I react if it were my brother or my son? And again, if you're not playing for a championship, I mean, again, I'm a traditionalist too. I love the bowl system, but there's so much money at stake now. I mean, this isn't 1985. This isn't even 2005. All these guys, they get paid out of the chutes, large sums of money. So I'll take it back to a couple of years ago with my alma mater, Michigan. They were playing in the Peach Bowl against Florida, and like 6 or 7 seniors opted out of that bowl game. The only senior that did play in it was Chase Winovich. And he goes into the game and pops something in his foot. He can't come to the Senior Bowl. I really thought Chase would be a late first-round pick that year, and he'd come down here and do what I thought he was going to do, pop something in that foot, can't do anything the rest of the process, and he goes in the 3rd round. Well, now he's starting for New England and playing his tail off, but that's a lot of money. 3rd-round money to late first-round money, early second-round money. So what he technically did was play like a 55th game for the University of Michigan. Nobody's going to remember the 2017 Peach Bowl for the university, but for him to get down here in front of 32 decision makers that are going to determine his fate, it's a no-brainer to me. And I know a lot of fans take a hard edge, but that's just where we're at right now. I mean, again, they love their school. It's not about loving their school or betraying their school. It's about making a sound business decision. So I just lay that scenario out where I've seen it hurt players. But no, Monty's great. Monty made a big jump as well, especially he looked like a different athlete to me this year. I went up and saw them playing Tuscaloosa. The one question off junior tape was like, how good is he going to be on 3rd down? The 1st and 2nd down stuff is great. He'll come downhill. When runs spill, he can go get it. But how is he going to do going backwards in playing in coverage? And he looked more agile. He was bouncing around better, finishing tackles in space better. So I think Monty answered some of those questions the league had about his 3rd down stuff, and he'll be able to do that here as well. He's going to be matched up in a lot of one-on-one stuff against tight ends and backs, and we're excited to get him. I mean, I'm good friends with a lot of guys on that staff, and they speak really highly of Monty, and I've had a long talk on the phone with Monty, and he just seems like a stud of a kid. So we can't wait to get him down here.
Yeah, he's real important, and you're right, Jim. There's a difference between those non-playoff game bowls and just finishing the regular. All the Georgia players finished the drill. They all finished the regular season. Nobody opted out early up here. One thing you and I talked about last year was Kirby Smart putting his stamp on the program, and you said as more and more of his guys go through, we'll see that. There were 10 guys at the Combine last year. We got, 6, 7 guys going to be at the Senior Bowl this year. Are you seeing more of that now as far as the personality of Georgia, what Kirby Smart's doing with these kids he's recruiting in terms of development?
Yeah, I mean, you just see the depth of the program now. I mean, you can absorb big losses because you have 4- and 5-star guys coming up behind them, and not just 4- and 5-star guys. They're getting there and they're getting developed well. They're doing a great job in the weight room there now. So, yeah, you're starting to see the base of what he's built. He's been there long enough now where it's truly built. It's his program. He has put his stamp on it, and all stacking these recruiting classes back to back to back is showing up now.
No Combine in Indy, Jim. They're all going to do it at pro days. Of course, you went to many pro days over the years. I've got to believe that makes the Senior Bowl more important than ever, that these scouts and personnel managers can see these guys side by side. Are my instincts right that this increases the importance of the Senior Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I'm a big believer in the Senior Bowl. I wouldn't be sitting in this chair, but no, it does, because I got off the phone with a player yesterday. They're going to be able to have pro days at Athens. We don't know what that's going to look like. I personally think it's going to be the Georgia staff running the pro day. And if they want to get a 40 time, you can get accurate gauges on the different jumps and shuttles if you video it right. But what you can't get, it's really tough on a 40 time. So to me, every school should have it in their stadium, and have the coaching staffs from the schools do it. Usher the NFL guys in, let them sit on the 40 from the bleachers like they do in Indy at the Combine, and time from there, and then get them out. I think that's the only really safe way to do it if you're having scouts crisscrossing the country, staying in Fairfields and courtyards every night. It's just not really – I've talked to a lot of people at the college level right now. They say our university just won't let it happen. So maybe the one safe way to do it is how I just laid it out. But that being said, like here they're going to be in front of 32 decision makers, whether it's head coach, GM, or personnel directors. Like that decision-making group is going to be here. At the Pro Day in Athens, it's going to be scouts. And I say that with love because I was a scout for a long time, but they're not the ones making the picks in April. And it's just human nature for these GMs and coaches to be more invested in guys they see. So, you know, you won't have general managers showing up to these pro days if they're going to be outside and all you're doing is time in 40s. So, yeah, the process is going to look different. All the interviews are going to be Zoom the rest of the year. So that's a huge value to our guys, is that they are going to be face-to-face with plexiglass in front of them and masks on and whatnot. We're keeping it safe. But yeah, just to have that face-to-face interaction for a week is going to be huge for our guys.
I believe it's year 3 for you, right, Jim? Is this year 3 of the Jim Nagy version of the Reese's Senior Bowl?
Yeah, it's year 3. It's gone fast.
Yeah, I wish I could be down there, Jim. I know these are trying circumstances for everyone. I'm still very excited to see the reports, see the video that's going to come out of Mobile, Alabama for the Reese's Senior Bowl. And of course, the game, everyone's going to want to tune in January 30th. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jim Nagy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.